Okay, I'm Levi Tetpon. I'm from Shaktoolik originally. I grew up here in Anchorage, but I'm still in contact with my people at home, and so I didn't lose that contact completely. The reason I do artwork is because I was raised around it. It was around me all the time, and I was taking part in whatever was going on little by little. As I got older, I got more involved, and it ended up with me doing ivory. I did bone and stone to start with, so I could get good enough to mess with the ivory. And so I had to stop thinking about ivory as so sacred to carve it, because it was something that I was afraid of, and I had to get rid of that fear and let it go. But the stone is what made me good enough to carve. I learned the basics from my parents up to a certain point, and they tell you that now you're on your own. You can do what you think is right and what you think is not right, and you can end up doing your own thing, but we will show you the basics. During the time of my dad, people had different expectations. The market was different. They didn't care so much about scratches and polishing, but I did. So I kind of changed things in my own way. I wanted the polish to make the ivory last longer, because if you don't get all the cracks, all the what do they call those, incongruities, if you don't work on those, then the piece will crack and come apart. So the finish is important to me. The carving represents the man, the hunter, drumming and singing and going into a trance and becoming part of the animal, becoming half animal, half man. The meaning behind this is showing respect to the animal by asking it and becoming part of it. Basically saying, can I have you? To support my family, to feed my family, to make sure that I can go along and be a good Inuk and pass on traditions, and carving is one of them, and eating the animal is the other part. Well, I try to make it to where, like, the ocean looks kind of changes. It changes when you get further and closer to it, just as the ocean changes with the weather. And to where you can see that this one is in a different world than this one. And these two are part of the ocean, and this one is part of the land. And this one tells a story of a man asking a greater power for something that it needs. And what the greater power tells you is what it needs you to be in order for you to get what you're asking for. In other words, you have to be good enough to be able to get your walrus, and you have to tell the truth, because the old lady who lives in the ocean who has one eye will know the truth as the walrus does. And if the walrus likes your singing and drumming, it can tell if you're a liar or not. And if you are power hungry and you create nothing but chaos, the walrus will know and it'll swim away and you won't catch it. It's the same thing as humbling yourself, because you are not greater than the power of nature. You're small compared to that. You're telling a story that has truth to it. If you're not a good human being, then you won't prosper. You will fade away. It's also teaching you how to be, how to exist with other people and how to get along, because we need to cooperate, because you're out in the middle of nowhere. There's no rescue. There's no doctor. There's no hospital. You're out there with just you, your partner, and nature. And you have to respect each other. The half man, half animal, like the carvings around the great big wooden bucket, you knew people interacted with and thought about and ate with. And so that's the connection right there. It all makes a big circle. Those are things from the past that were real to those people. Now it's people are so sophisticated and so limited when they become sophisticated that they block that part out in their brain and they think too much. So if you don't think too much and look at a piece and give it a chance to melt in your brain that it is real and it did exist, and that's what I'm trying to do with my art. What I try to do is make the unreal, the surreal, real.